Hello everyone, and welcome to the Diablo 4 Season of Death Awakening developer update stream. My name is Marcus Kretz. I'm a community manager here at Blizzard Entertainment. We've got a lot to get into today, but first things first, we've got Twitch drops. So you can watch for 30 minutes on any eligible channel in the Diablo 4 category on Twitch and get the Falx Infectus sword skin. So again, that's 30 minutes on any eligible Diablo 4 category on Twitch and get that Falx Infectus sword skin. So we do have a lot to get into today. We're going to be walking through everything coming with Season of Death Awakening. Something you should know is that we've got a video queued up for you. That's going to take you through everything coming with the season. And then following that, we're going to have a little developer Q&A. So be sure to drop your questions in Twitch chat. We'll round those up and then answer those towards the end of the stream. So without further ado, check out everything coming in Season of Death Awakening. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Diablo Developer Update. Today we're giving you an early look at the Season of Death Awakening. We're excited to share updates on the seasonal questline, Mythic unique system, class updates, and quality of life improvements. Let's jump right in. This season's questline follows Danica as she investigates the Ulosar, a rising death cult, and its threat to Sanctuary. The story is built around pursuit, discovery, and the sense that something dangerous is taking shape just beneath the surface. Along the way, you'll learn about the ruptures emerging across Sanctuary by collecting the stories left behind by the Ulosar. This collection will be preserved with Danica and Zarbinzet, giving players another way to piece together the story and explore the season's narrative threads. In the Season of Death Awakening, the barrier between Sanctuary and Pandemonium begins to weaken. Arcane rifts known as Pandemonium ruptures tear open across the world, unleashing new monsters and creating opportunities to summon a familiar boss. You'll encounter 3 different kinds of ruptures. Standard ruptures can appear anywhere in Sanctuary, but are most plentiful in Helltides. Surging ruptures can spawn in place of local events inside Helltides and ramp up the intensity. A colossal rupture is the largest and most dangerous, found only in the world boss arena near Zarbinzet. To trigger a rupture, slay the cultist protecting a Death's Head idol. That ignites the ritual circle and tears the rift open. Keep it active by cutting down the enemies and sealing tears. The longer it stays open, the greater the rewards. And be ready if a rupture goblin appears. Killing it will spark another rupture on the spot. Realmwalkers are breaching into Sanctuary, drawn out by the most intense arcane forces. Surging ruptures give you a chance to summon one, while colossal ruptures guarantee a Realmwalker encounter every time. These Realmwalkers are different from before. They are no longer interested in leading you on a chase. They prefer to kill you where you stand and have a new suite of attacks to do it. Defeat a Realmwalker and a portal to the Death Toll Chamber will open. If a Surging Rupture doesn't call a Realmwalker, a furious golem called a Realmbreaker will rise instead. Realmbreakers can drop Nightmare Dungeon sigils with the Rupture affix, which gives a second way to reach the Death Toll Chamber. The Death Toll Chamber is a single-room dungeon where the Ulosar perform their mysterious rituals within Pandemonium. It can be accessed either by defeating a Realmwalker or by entering a Nightmare Dungeon with the Rupture affix and engaging with the ruptures within. Activate the Death Toll pillar in the middle of the room to initiate the challenge. To earn the best rewards, you'll have 60 seconds to expand the circle out to the edges of the room by killing the monsters that spawn. Completing this challenge rewards valuable loot, as well as superior layer keys in Torment difficulties. You'll need these keys to open the Corrupted Reaper's Horde. This season features an all-new boss encounter against a Corrupted Reaper from Pandemonium. The first time you encounter her will be during the season's questline. After defeating her in the quest, you can then face off against an even more challenging lair boss version that will put your skills to the test. Defeating this lair boss will be your best chance to get mythic unique items, as well as the materials you'll need to craft them in the Herodric Cube.
This season, every unique item has the potential to ascend fully empowered. This opens the door to enhanced uniques that align exactly with the way you want to play. These are acquired either as drops in the world or by being crafted through the Herodric Cube or the Jeweler. Mythic uniques come fully empowered, with each affix maxed out, including affixes from Tempers and Transfiguration. The unique affix is not only maxed, it's also significantly buffed. You'll be able to enchant one of your Mythic unique space affixes at the Occultist, making it truly your own. The Seasonal Lair boss, the Corrupted Reaper, has a chance to drop a Mythic unique directly. The Mythics you already know are now classified as iconic Mythics. Items like Air of Perdition and Ring of the Starless Skies aren't going anywhere, but they are changing. Iconic Mythics now feature 2 fixed affixes paired with their Mythic power, giving them a defined identity while opening up possibilities for specialized build customization. Advancing through the Season Rank awards each class a specific Mythic unique as well. Additionally, both seasonal and eternal characters have a rare chance to find one whenever an ancestral unique would normally drop. You'll be able to craft Mythic uniques in the Heraldric Cube by converting a unique item with Pandemonium Fragments. The currency needed for this is earned by progressing through the Seasonal Reputation board, opening Resplendent Caches, or defeating the Seasonal Lair boss. You can equip only one crafted Mythic unique. However, you can equip as many naturally dropped Mythic uniques as you want alongside the one that you've crafted.
For class balance, we're closely watching how the meta evolves, especially those abilities that naturally rise to the top. Our goal is to make sure that no single option overshadows the rest while enabling variety and opening the door to build expression. We want you to feel free to play the builds you enjoy without being pressured into one specific choice just because it's outperforming everything else. The Mythic Unique update plays a big role in this. With all the latest additions to systems and itemization, our goal is to make the game feel both fun and functional, giving you more ways to experiment, express your playstyle, and discover new builds that feel just as exciting as they are effective. For Barbarian, Battle Trance has been updated to grant you the Barrage variant of Frenzy for free, while Wrath of the Berserker will now grant a further multiplicative damage increase while active. No character should ever be completely unkillable, but Barbarians with Melted Heart of Selig and a high amount of resource generation came awfully close. We are reducing the passive amount of fury that Barbarians gain from taking damage. Melted Heart of Selig will still be a great defensive item, but this change gives the Demons of Sanctuary a fighting chance against tanky Barbarians. Many Druid unique items have received substantial buffs. Dolmen Stone now deals a high percent of Boulder's damage rather than a flat amount. The Basilisk now causes Petrify to massively increase the damage enemies take from you. Great Staff of the Crone, Mjolnir Ring, and Waxing Gibbous are also more potent. Companion Druid builds have been doing extremely well, but are crowding out other options for the class. We are bringing down some of their damage numbers to allow other builds to compete. For cold damage-based necromancers, we are updating the Wither Paragon node, as well as the Darkness and Scourge glyphs to also trigger from cold damage. This opens up new ways to scale their damage into the late game. We are reducing bonuses for having many stacks of overpower, such as from Red Blessing, and reducing the maximum number of stacks. We're buffing many of the other build options to help them close the gap. We're buffing a wide range of Paladin builds. Unique items like Light's Rebuke, Ward of the White Dove, and Red Sermon all have their damage increased, as have Shield Charge and the Zealot Oath. To get you into the action faster, the Judicator Oath now grants its full damage bonus immediately rather than slowly stacking up, and Heaven's Fury has a massively reduced cooldown. For rogues, Flurry and Twisting Blades are getting baseline buffs. Their associated unique items, Death Mask of Nirmatruk, and the Maestro are also more powerful. Of the many bugs we fixed this season, one improved Sky Hunter. This unique bow now properly works with imbuement skills, providing a substantial boost to the power of rapid-fire builds. For Sorceress, fire builds have been buffed for the season. The Talisman set is stronger, and several key unique items have been buffed, such as Starfall Coronet for Meteor builds, and Staff of Endless Rage for Fireball builds. Unstable Current's duration will now increase less per skill rank. Additionally, we are sharpening the identity of the Boundless variant. It will increase the damage of crackling energy, rather than all of your damage. Several of Spiritborn's talisman sets now have increased defensive benefits. We've also increased armor from defensive options like the Gorilla Spirit Hull and Toxic Skin's Scuttlebug variant. Sepazontek and Rod of Kepaleke are iconic Spiritborn unique items, enhancing basic and core skills respectively. Both have been buffed, making them even more potent if you can find a Mythic unique version of them. We're buffing some underperforming Warlock unique items, like Agrom's Schism, Rindle of Torbalos, and Thrice Woven Nightmare. Wall of Agony has also received several buffs: a lower dominance cost, higher damage reduction on the Encircle variant, and a longer duration on the Fallen Army variant.
Solo Self-Found, also known as SSF, is for players who want the pure Lone Wanderer experience, carving their own path through Sanctuary without outside assistance. It's a way to challenge yourself on your own terms, embrace the journey of true self-reliance, and level the tower playing field with SSF leaderboards. You'll designate a character as Solo Self-Found when you create your character, and after that, you're on your own. You'll find all your own gear and accomplish your own goals. You won't be able to trade with other players, join parties, or participate in group activities such as Couch Co-op or the Dark Citadel. However, as SSF, you can engage in open world content such as world bosses or Legion events with other players as normal. For group play, we are updating war plans to make it easier than ever to strategize with your friends and trusted allies. In the Season of Death Awakening, you'll be able to sync your war plans board directly with your party, letting everyone tackle the same objective together while gaining equal rewards across the board. Here's how it works. Your entire party must be in Themis. Once you've grouped up, you'll see a new option, New Plan for Party. Selecting it initiates a party-wide reroll of all war plans boards for a cost of 2 Marks of Eldurin from the player who initiates it. Once the group accepts the updated plan, the exact board is synced to every party member. Warplan's activity XP has been increased, with scaling improvements beginning at Torment 8 and higher, and the base XP of Infernal Hordes has been doubled. Helltide Warplan progress has been updated to require spending cinders, 75 in normal through Penitent, and 250 in Torment 1 and above. And to round things out, new Warplans quests have been added for both Helltide and Escalation Nightmare activities. With these changes, we've made Warplans smoother, faster, and far more collaborative, whether you're coordinating with a full party or pushing deeper into endgame challenges. This season, we're pushing even further into player-driven item customization. We aim to keep expanding the ways you can craft your gear that truly fits your build, your fantasy, and your playstyle. Here are a few new updates we have coming this season. Uniques and Mythic Uniques can now have one affix enchanted with the Occultist, allowing you to customize your item further. Unique Charms and non-ancestral uniques now support unique power reroll, opening up new paths to refine the powers you rely on. Chromatic Tuning Prisms can now roll all resist, adding another valuable defensive option to enhance your toughness. All skills can now be rolled on amulets using the Adept's Tuning Prism. One of your most requested changes has been added to this season. We are increasing the Obel's cap from 2,500 to 25,000. We're also increasing the gold cap to 999 billion and the gem cap to 999 million. We've added missing minimap icons to Nightmare Dungeon and Pit objects, ensuring you don't miss key features. We've also added missing boss trophy items for Astaroth and Bartuk. These can now be amalgamated in the Herodric Cube. And finally, Echoing Hatred keys now drop at a higher rate. The official launch of the tower is finally here. You'll earn more rewards for running the tower and pushing your rank, with rewards based on the highest rank you've reached during that week. Look at the leaderboard UI to see when the next reward window closes and enjoy the celebratory toast when you claim your prizes. Simply reaching higher ranks earns progression milestones, and there are rank-based rewards for hitting specific ranking goals. Rewards include a Halo and a Prestige title. When a new season ends, Halo rewards and leaderboard titles from the previous season will be retired.
That's our first look at the Season of Death Awakening. We're excited for the official release and look forward to your journey. See you all in Sanctuary. Welcome to the Diablo Developer Update. Today we're giving you an early look at the Season of Death Awakening. We're excited
than a few familiar faces we brought today. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's great to have you. Ben, starting with yourself, if you want to introduce yourself and let everyone know what you do at Blizzard Entertainment.
Yeah, so I'm Ben Fletcher. I'm the lead seasons designer.
Hi, I'm Charles Dunn. I'm a senior game designer working on the Final Balance team.
Hey, I'm Art Peshkov. I'm the lead systems designer.
I got to give a special shout out to Ben because he flew all the way here from Albany, but he also got delayed in Texas for a long time yesterday, so he spent a lot of time trying to get here, so we're really happy to have him.
9 hours in DFW. Good times.
Good times indeed. I know it was a few weeks ago, but we did have the PTR where everyone got to jump into the seasonal features. Pandemonium Ruptures, the return of the Realm Walkers. So, thanks to everyone who jumped into the PTR. But I know one of the things we received the most amount of feedback was on our rework to Mythic Uniques. So we do want to jump into that. And, in particular, I just want to say, Art, we did receive a lot of feedback from the players. What are some of the things they can, expect to be different from the PTR to season release?
Yeah, so before I get into talking about PTR and learnings, I kind of want to speak to our intentions a little bit. So we found that, there are many items that could be built, right? But there's a few that dominate the meta, right? Era Perdition, right? So what we really wanted to do is try and elevate all unique items to kind of a higher level of potential.
Yeah, I think that's really what I'm most interested in this season, or this update for, is that a lot of the class-specific uniques that maybe didn't get a chance to shine because they were overshadowed by mythics in the same slot. Things like you mentioned, Era Perdition really crowded out a lot of class-specific helm items. For example, something like Starfall Coronet on the Sork really didn't see a lot of play because a lot of these mythic helms were just better. And so I'm really excited that those items are going to be able to compete with the mythics with this update.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're trying to do this in a way that strikes a good balance between giving players options to customize and really, really refine their gear, and also have the moment of drop be really, really exciting. So learnings from PTR. Obviously, the biggest thing that we want to address is the fixed affix count and identity of unique items, right? Players we heard a lot of feedback saying that unique items didn't really have an identity anymore because of so few fixed affixes. There was also a lot of randomness with crafting outcomes and trying to target specific slots. And so, yeah, we really wanted to kind of refine this loop and make Mythics better. So the first change we made is actually to all unique items, right? All unique items have 2 fixed affixes now, up from 1. And then in terms of crafting and customization for the PTR, players were able to play around with the cube and unique items. We decided that it was healthier for the game to instead allow enchanting on unique items instead of chaotic and focused reroll. So you'll be able to enchant your uniques now. And then as far as for the crafting options, for the seasonal crafting option in the cube, we've updated this to allow you to target mythic items by item slot. So if you put in a one-handed weapon, you'll get a one-handed mythic. You put in a ring, you get a ring mythic, etc.
Nice. Yeah, I know we did have a lot of feedback on that front, not being able to get the specific item type that you want. So the fact that you can now target farm a little bit easier definitely helps a ton.
Yeah.
And I know for that seasonal loop too, a big thing that you'll be doing in Season of Death Awakening is engaging in Death Toll Chambers, defeating the Realm Walkers, and we did receive some feedback on that front in terms of changing the loop a little bit. So I know Ben, you've been working on that a ton and sifting through that feedback. So what are some of the changes players should expect to see?
Yeah. So first of all, we appreciate your feedback. The thing that we heard the loudest is you don't like standing still in an ARPG, which makes sense. We had a little too much time standing still closing tears, so we decreased the time that it takes to close the tear. We open more tears. We actually make some of the tears move around the space, so you're chasing them around. And we also gave you more reasons to explore the space. Now the chests that appear within a rupture have better rewards. We increased the glints of hope that you get, and just better drops in general from the activity. So you should be spending far less time just standing in place now. Also, we noticed the difficulty initially when we send you straight out into the world to do ruptures before you have any skills or gear equipped. It was pretty rough. You just kind of get stomped. So we chilled those out quite a bit in normal difficulty, so you can go out at the beginning of the quest line, start closing ruptures, and not just have a bad day. And then the intensity ramps up as you move into the higher difficulties.
Yeah, nice to not just get nuked right out of the gate when you're level 5 for sure. And great to hear on those changes as well. Like, you're doing the seasonal activities so frequently, so to have that loop tightened and the rewards improved a little bit just pays dividends across the entire season that you're playing.
For sure.
And for those of you who haven't been tuned in, we do have some pretty exciting changes coming with Season of Death Awakening, because we had the leaderboards in Tower that were in beta in January, and with this season we're actually fully releasing them. So if you have not been tuned in, Art, what should players maybe expect if they haven't experienced the Tower leaderboards before?
Well, yeah, with the Towers beta over, the first thing I want to do is just give a shout out to all the players who played, sent feedback. It was really, really invaluable in realizing this feature. Now that the tower is officially launched, right, players who are really competitive can push. There's a rewards track. They can show off really, really cool cosmetic stuff if they place. And if you're really into the tower, you might be interested in Solo Self-Found. Solo Self-Found is a new game mode. It's launching with Season 14. And it's perfect for the competitive type of player.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Solo Self-Found. That's kind of my niche. I really like being competitive and like pushing the limit as much as I can, and really comparing myself against others, and not engaging with trade or parties quite as much. And so the Solo Self-Found leaderboard is going to be really the true test of the best player, the best build. Yeah. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I know when we played the overview video, there's a few people who I think were not in the loop on Solo Self-Found, so I saw some very excited people, and Criminon was also very excited to see you today.
Oh.
Hey, Ert's here, which is awesome. And I know for competing on the leaderboards and in the tower, you're probably going to need to be pretty in tune with your build and need to know where, whatever build you're after, where it's sitting. So who better to walk us through, what sort of class balance you might expect for this upcoming season than Charles?
Yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit about kind of the class balance philosophy that we had with the Lord of Hatred launch, kind of in last season, and what to expect going forward. So obviously with the launch of Lord of Hatred a few months back, we had massive overhauls to all of the classes, the skill trees, the items, all kinds of things. There's so many new builds and possibilities that have come out through that expansion and that update. And we think players have really only kind of scratched the surface of some of the builds that are out there and possible to make. And part of that is because some of the numeric tuning, maybe a build wasn't quite there numerically, the numbers weren't good enough. And so we really took a pass to buff up a lot of those underperforming builds that maybe didn't get a chance to go into the limelight. And on the other hand, we looked at some of the outliers that were maybe a little too high, a little too strong, and they ended up kind of making players feel like you were playing it wrong if you weren't playing these builds. You were, when something is just so much better than the other options, it kind of crowds out those other options, even though we want you to be able to play the wide variety of builds that are possible in the class. And so we really were focused on making sure that you're able to explore a bit more of the depth that the updated skill trees from Lord of Hatred really offer.
Yeah, as far as overall class balance, we believe that the game is best when there's room for everybody to kind of grow and push. And when there are these outlier builds, it kind of makes the landscape harder to evaluate for everybody else.
Yeah, and so that's really our focus this season is making sure there's a bit more parity, and then that will in turn lead to a bigger build variety of options of what you can play and kind of be competitive with every other build.
Yeah, I love it. And for anyone who's watching, we do have the patch notes that were published a little bit before the stream. So if you want to check out, any specific class changes, or we added the entire list of each inherent affix to each unique, you can go and read that to your heart's content. It's very long, so you can go and check those out there. And I know within the patch notes as well, we do have a bit of quality of life scattered throughout. However, we do kind of have a top level of some of the nicest quality of life to kind of tease out. So Ben, can you walk us through what players should we expect on that front?
Yeah, so gem fragment drop rate has improved significantly in Torment 10 and above. High tier gems now return the intended higher number of fragments. Loot rewards from Helltide chests have been improved. Infernal Horde's gold chest now grants more gold. Charms now group together when sorted. The Purveyor of Curiosities in Temis has been fixed and now grants uniques when gambling. And then, obviously, most importantly, you can rename your pets.
Oh, yes.
Pretty exciting.
That's the best one.
We got any pet names
Yeah.
ready to go?
I'm definitely going to be naming my pet after my cat Nimbus, a little fluffy white and gray Siamese cat. So can't wait to have him with Sanctuary with me.
Great name change, Charles. A couple questions from chat that I just want to hit off the top. One was someone was asking if the drop rates are going to be different in solo self-found. To my knowledge, they will not be different in solo self-found. Same drop rates, just different experience of who you can group up with and not. And it'll just be you solo. And then there's someone else who asked if we would add kissing to the game. We're not going to be adding kissing to the game. However, with that does actually bring us into Q&A. So if you've been dropping your questions in Twitch chat, we've been collecting them on the side. And now we're going to walk through them with our development team. All right, so first question. I think this one comes from Jedi M4. It is, are there any plans for account-wide war plans? I know this was a big one that we saw across Twitch chat as well. So,
yeah, I'll take that one. Yeah, so obviously with the season, we've made some improvements to war plans, right? We added party sync reroll, we increased the experience in later tournaments, and buffed up Infernal Horde's base XP. We hear you on the feedback for the per character war plans. We are investigating making this be per partition, which is how Paragon works, right? When you start a season, you start fresh, but any new characters you make during the season are all part of the same pool. So we are investigating that with war plans, and we'll have more to discuss later.
Nice. Yeah, I know that's a big change people have been asking for a while, so really nice to see that being worked on. Next question comes from Ruri. Will we be able to make custom war plans instead of being forced to run activities we might not be interested in?
We are looking at other ways for you to be able to customize your war plan, have some agency over your war plans playlist. Nothing specific to announce at this time, but yeah, we're looking at it.
Heck yeah. Next question from SKK1701J. Can you temper on a mythic roll greater affix or only on a max roll?
Temper on a mythic item, right? Because mythic items will always have their affixes max roll, right?
Yes.
So does that also apply to the tempers that you add on?
Yeah, so that applies to anything you do to the item. If you add a temper and it does not roll GA, the temper will be max rolled. When you enchant, all of your enchanting results are max rolled. If you add or change an affix with the cube, its value is also max rolled.
Yeah, that's really like the value of being the mythic rarity is that all of the stats on it, no matter how you get it on there, are going to be at the maximum value that they can be.
Nice. Question here from Narrator Dog, great name. At Diablo, question, are the OG Mythics, which we're now calling iconic uniques, are they receiving a nerf or are they staying the same for the season?
Yeah, I can address this. Some of them have been reduced in power level, something like Air of Perdition, which I kind of alluded to. You know, that one in particular has kind of been dominating the meta for quite a while. It was always like, yeah, Air of Perdition, best helm, it crowds out everything else. So our philosophy here is that because now they are just mythic uniques like everything else, we try to balance them at approximately the same power level as other uniques when they hit the mythic version, right? So the idea is that after the adjustments, the balance changes, something like Air of Perdition should be comparable to other helm uniques that are also at that mythic power level. So that's our philosophy. Whereas prior, mythics should have been stronger. They were rare, they were stronger, they were higher rarity. That's not the case. Now they're going to be brought down to the same power level as other uniques.
Very nice. Big Papa Plump. Since Tower and leaderboards are now officially releasing, how often will we have balance updates to the tower throughout the season? And what might the cadence be for bug fixes for the tower?
Yeah, I think this is goes back to our balance philosophy that we've discussed several times on live streams in the past. We do want to really respect the time that players invest into their builds, right? If we're going to launch the season and there may or may not be some balance issues, and we want to make sure that any adjustments we make doesn't invalidate somebody's build that they've invested a lot of time into. We'll still fix the really high critical, like, oh my gosh, you're breaking the game. But in terms of like, oh, this is maybe a little stronger than we intended, as a general philosophy, we're going to let that ride out because we know players have invested time into making that build, collecting those items, and we want to respect that.
Absolutely. Voodoo Virus Vendetta. I think this will be our last question. Can we expect to get an activity tree for the open world that doesn't involve hell tides? Maybe can we get some love for sellers?
We can definitely investigate new trees with new content. Right now, we're kind of looking at, like I said, alluding to the previous question, we're looking at ways to kind of enhance war plans as a feature itself rather than specific existing activities. But it's always a possibility.
Yeah, I definitely think the war plans tree and like those modifications that we have is definitely a ripe area for future design space. Not a lot coming in this season in particular, obviously, but it's part of the game and it's going to be for a long time, and we're really excited to see how we can expand that and improve it in the future.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, I think we actually may do a couple more questions, time permitting. Nazrath, is there any chance to be allowed to import loot filters or to add them to our account via BNet?
I don't have too much information on that. I think that would be something we can definitely look into. I know that would be a good quality of life to look into for a future update, for sure.
Cool. Another question just related to solo self-found and the individual kind of nuances. If you're playing solo self-found, is not being able to be in a party, does that apply to the tower as well? Or is everything solo except for world events?
You're not allowed to be in a party at all, period. You can find other people running around the world. If you go to a world boss or a legitimate subzone, you'll see other players there. You can engage in doing the activity, but you cannot party, period.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for answering those questions. And thank you all for being here. I know we do have a couple notes just to close out the end of the stream, just some opening notes. So one important thing for everyone to know is that we do have a Warlock free trial that is going live with the start of the season. So if you have not yet played the Warlock, from June 30th to July 7th on BNet, Xbox, and PlayStation, you can jump in and play the Warlock and the Paladin. And this actually coincides with the free trial for the game. So if you haven't played Diablo 4 yet, you can go in and check that out. Then beyond that, we've also got an Overwatch collab that is going live with the start of the season. So we do have some really cool shop bundles that you can check out. And then we do have quite a robust reliquary. So if you kill elite and champion monsters in-game, you'll be able to earn Eye of the Overwatch currency. And if you complete the whole free reliquary, you'll actually be able to earn that Kiriko's Fox Spirit Pet that you can see kind of in the bottom right there by completing the reliquary. So if you're a huge fan of Overwatch, huge fan of Diablo, go in and check that out between the shop and the free reliquary. Pre-download is available for the season, so starting on June 25th at 10 a.m. PT for Battle.net, Xbox, and PlayStation, you can go and jump in and pre-download the build, as we all like to do. And then if you are very keen on the leaderboard, just a quick reminder that will go live July 2nd at 11 a.m. So it's a couple days after the season goes live, and that is July 2nd at 11 a.m. Where the leaderboard goes live for you to try and hunt down those coveted seasonal halos. When the season goes live, we will also have a Twitch drop for you. This is called the Final Headache Mace Cosmetics. You'll be able to watch any eligible channel on the Diablo 4 category on Twitch for 2 hours to receive this Final Headache Mace Cosmetic on June 30th. And now, as we wrap up the stream, I just want to give a huge thank you to the devs for being here today, Ben for traveling and getting stuck in Texas for 9 hours. We do appreciate it. Thank you to everyone at home for tuning in and checking out Season 14. It's awesome that you guys are still here. And thank you to the production crew for all the help, to Filthy Rich and everyone for all the work that goes into these streams. So don't forget, Season of Death Awakening goes live on June 30th, and we'll see you all in Sanctuary. Take care.
Log in.